On March 31st, 2008, I was driving home after visiting family and friends. It was going to be a 2-hour drive that I had done many times before. Little did I know that this time would be different. Looking down the road, I noticed way up in the distance something in the middle of the road. It looked like a large sheet of plywood just lying there. It was in the right-hand lane, and I knew I just needed to nudge over to the right to avoid it. Well, a large tractor trailer was ahead of me, and it ran right over it. The board flew up into the air. The truck probably created a draft over it and picked it right off the ground. It was coming down on me like a guillotine. At that very moment, I couldn't believe what I had seen, but I knew I wasn't going to let it come down on me. Instinctively, I swerved to the right and figured I'd avoided it. Then I noticed I started skidding. I turned into the skid, and the car started to straighten out. Then it overcompensated, and I started skidding in the other direction. I really don't know how in the world I managed to stay focused, but I knew I had to turn the wheel back. At that point, my greatest fear was that I was going to hit the concrete barrier and severely wreck my car. But I refused to let that happen. The thought of flipping over never even crossed my mind. I guess I figured I had the situation well in hand. Then, in a split second, the car came to a complete stop. Didn't hit the guardrail or the concrete barrier. The brakes just did their thing. At that moment, I found myself facing the oncoming traffic. On the road, I saw several black S shapes that were the skid marks from each of my tires. Even months after the accident, most of the tire marks are still there. Eventually, I started the car up and I moved out of the way of the oncoming traffic. I just pulled off at the next exit just to collect myself and to double check the car. I thought that I completely avoided that wooden blade of death, but there was some damage. There was a large dent in the driver's side fender, and my side view mirror, which was still there, looked like someone took a baseball bat to it. Other than those two things, the car was still drivable, so I got back on the road and went home. Since that day, I always think about how I got through that accident relatively unscathed. My first instinct is that there's an angel over my shoulder, watching over me. Or better yet, God himself had a hand in it. And instead of teaching me a lesson by completely wrecking my car, he scared me straight and made an everlasting impression on me. The other instinct was that years of drifting on various video games had finally paid off. Hey, it works. It really does. But nah, I'll stick with the former. Certainly the more noble of the two. Even now, I still have yet to get that dent fixed. But for me, it serves as a daily reminder of how lucky I was that day. I'm eternally grateful that this was the extent of the damage, that I made it through without a wreck. And I'll always remember things could have been so much worse. And I certainly don't intend to waste this lucky break. Of course now, I'm a lot more attentive on the road, but I'm more thankful for all the good things in life, and know that I should always calmly handle the bad things that come my way. I believe things are thrown at us constantly in life, that we're constantly tested. It's just how you deal with it all that makes us better people and strengthens us from within.